This is Brad at Attitude RC, and I was sent these AOKFLY motors to test. 2205, 2300 kV, 2300 kV motors to test and try out. And I have a SpeedX frame I'm going to be putting these on, the 250 frame. It's what they're designed for. First thing I want to tell you about these motors is they're packed pretty much like any other 2300 kV motors. Nice long wires to work with. When I popped them out of here, I noticed they have a nylock bolt on them. Nice motors though, they feel good. Feel like they got a little tension to them. Everything seems to be pretty decent on these motors. Looks like it's got enough meat here to run a bolt into. One thing I did notice right away is they're not labeled counter-rotating or normal rotating motors. So this nylock's all you have holding that on. The threads are all the same way on all four of them that they sent me. So they don't have a right hand and a left hand motor. So hopefully these hold on. We're going to be spinning these up pretty hard and running them on our racing quad. So we're going to do some speed testing with them, and I'm going to have the quad built up in the next video. But just as an unboxing, they're pretty normally packaged. It comes with the bolts, it comes with the Allen wrench. I don't think we need more Allen wrenches, but it comes with one. Motors look like they got nice cooling in them. Hopefully they push this quad pretty quick. We'll see how it runs. They claim they can run a 2 or 3 or 4S, so I'm going to be pushing 3S on this particular one because that's what speed controls are rated for. So we'll see how they do. We're going to test it against another SpeedX quad, running just some normal motors. I'll give the specs on the ones it's running against, and we'll see how she does. But like I said, I would have liked to seen normal motors and counter-rotating motors from them with different threads on the shaft, but not sure of the price point on these, as they did send them to me. So when I figure out a price point, I'll put that up on my website along with everything I used in the build of the SpeedX. So they look like nice motors. I mean, the red anodized aluminum on them is kind of cool. So we'll see how they all turn out, and we'll see how they fly. Thanks a lot. So I started getting everything out and set up, and I was gonna start setting up my frame and doing some positioning on doing some wiring and getting everything a little bit configured. Got one of the motors out, placed it under the and I was getting ready to put one of the little Allen screws in there, and the provided Allen wrenches don't actually fit the screws that they provided. So I mean, I'm not really sure what these Allen wrenches are for. They're just in there for looks apparently. I don't know. Kind of odd that they provided Allen wrenches that don't fit any of the screws in the package. Kind of a miss for AOK motors, but I'll write them up and let them know about that. I'm going to continue with the build, and I'll be back in a little bit. As you can see, the motors mount up really nice. Everything looks good. Seems to be mounting once you got the right Allen wrench, of course. The mounting seems to work fine. Motors actually look really nice on this arm. I'm going to finish mounting the rest of the other 4 motors and give you a look at those. Okay, I got all 4 motors mounted, and they actually mounted in pretty nice. The screws are decent quality. Threads were good in the motors. They went on nice. They lined up the way they should for the quad mounting. Mounting's just fine on them. You can see them right there. Everything worked out nice on it. Only complaint I would have so far is Allen wrenches weren't the right size, which I don't know why you'd bother spending the money putting the wrong size Allen wrenches in, but you know, that's not me. And I really like those counter-threaded shafts on here. So you didn't need the nylock bolts necessarily, but they're not a bad idea to have on there anyways. I'm going to finish building this quad up and we'll get it up in there and test it for you.
Sorry, you probably can't see that very well. Bring them down. Okay, I'm gonna do a punch up, just basically straight up in there. So, okay. 1, 2, 3. All set.
Have it back here on the bench with my optional AOK Allen wrenches here. Slide those over there. All in all, really happy with these motors. They performed really well. We got lots of speed out of them, smooth power. Everything performed really well. This is the quad I flew them on. It's a SpeedX frame. I have a power distribution board here on the bottom. I have a NAS32 board and then an OSD board above it. I'm running a Fat Shark CMOS camera up front, 200 milliwatt transmitter in back. All 4 of the motors performed great. I didn't have a glitch with any of them. They flew amazing. I was really happy with the power output on them. It was a fast quad. The punch out power was great. Only drawbacks I have is I think they suck a lot of power. I had a 2200 on here for a while. I only got maybe 4 minutes of flight time out of it, maybe 4.5. Granted, my batteries aren't the greatest, but they're pretty decent. I put a 1300 3S on it. It was a 2200 3S. I put a 1300 3S on it also. Got about 4 minutes of flight time out of it, tops. All in all though, great motors. I was worried about the nylock bolts on it. Turned out those were not an issue. I never lost a prop, didn't have one loosen up in flight, nothing. So they performed really well. They won me over with the nylocks apparently. Good quad, good motors. The price point on them is about $17, which puts them a little bit above like Emax class, a little bit below like X-Nova motors. But that being said, for the price point, you get a ton of power out of these motors. They're quick. You could even push a little bigger prop if you needed. I got Dahl 5.3 blunt nose on here, or bull nose props. But all in all, great motors. Really happy with the power. Wish the Allen wrenches would have fit. Would like to see counter-threaded bolts, but I understand why they do them. The nylocks work, but they're a little heavier than if you'd ran counter-threaded. I'm trying to save some weight when I can on racing quads. All in all, great motors, great performance. Really happy with them. Pros and cons. Pros, like I said, great performance, lots of power. Cons, I do think they suck some power. I didn't do any amp draw tests on them, but I can just kind of tell from my battery usage they do suck some power. But really happy with the quad all in all. It flew quick, flew well. As you can see from the previous video or the previous segment, it flew really nice. So once again, these are AOKFLY 2300 kV motors. Great flying motors, really happy with them, and I do recommend them. You could probably get them a little cheaper than $17 depending on what retailer you go through, but good motors. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with this quad. The owner's going to be really happy. I actually built this for somebody, but all in all, good motors. Thanks a lot. This is Brad from Attitude RC, and have a great day.